Hi, my name is Beth Hiley for BoardGameGeek at Essen 2011. I'm sitting with Heinrich and Matthias, thank you. I had it written down, but I didn't want to trust myself that I would pronounce it correctly. And you guys have brought Chess-Me, which maybe you could pronounce this for me in German also.
Oh, it's Schachen.
Yeah, I might have a little trouble with that one, but which I'm told is fun and quick and fast.
Yeah,
yeah, so why don't you guys take it away?
Okay, what it is a chess variant without a board. So you have to visualize the spaces of chess here on the table. It's lying directly on the table. What you see here is a starting position. And if you look at it, you will note two things. First, it looks a lot like chess because you have the pawns in front and you have the king behind. But what you also note is, oh, where are the other pieces? Okay, they are not yet in play. You have, both players have a hand of 3 pieces hidden from the opponent and a redraw pile. The goal is the same as in chess. You have to checkmate the king. And you do it by using the following gameplay. On your turn, you have to do 2 things. First, you have to move one of the pieces that is already in play. And then you may, if you like, optionally, from your hand take one piece and put it into play. This is the general structure of the game. I will explain both steps, the move and the putting of new pieces into the game. Okay, let's take a look at the moving pieces. As I said, it is a lot like chess, but because you don't have a board, there is one important rule, I will demonstrate it here, that a piece may only be moved to a target space if this target space is connected to another piece. For example, you have here the queen. You may move it here because after that the target space of the queen is adjacent to this piece. So it can be adjacent to one of your pieces or to a piece of your opponent.
And diagonal counts as adjacent.
Yes, right. Another important rule is the king. In chess you may move the king in any direction. Here in this case, so you may only move him sideways or to the front. As usual, you may not move him backwards. Now, there is one important exception to these movement rules. You may always move to a space if this space is occupied by an opponent piece. That means if you're able to capture an opponent piece, you may move. Take the piece, and now this is a legal move. The same applies to the other example. If the king is in check like this, he may move, although he normally may not move backwards, he may capture a piece. So he may move backwards in this case. So again, move to a target space that is adjacent to any other piece or capture a piece. That's the movement in general. There are some minor modifications that we made. So we eliminated, for example, the castling. You know the castling?
Yep.
The exchange of king and rook. And we eliminated the 2 steps, so the pawn is only going 1 step. So it's a simplification.
Right.
And the last rule that might be important, we will demonstrate it later maybe, the pawn substitution. If you move your pawn on the line of the king, you may substitute for a piece that your opponent captured before. Only. So if he never captured a piece, you cannot exchange. The second important point is if the king moves to the front of the pawn to this line, nothing happens. And this pawn will not be able to substitute.
So the king has to be behind. That pawn has to travel a long way to be able to...
If the king is going to the front, then the substitution will take place here. It will always take place on the line of the king. Okay, what did I do? The movement rules of this game slightly modified, but it is still chess. There was a second step in the game turn. Putting new pieces into play. How do you do it? You have 3 pieces in your hand. You may, if you want, take one of these and put it into play. There's a difference if you use a pawn or another piece. If you use a pawn, you may place him only beside another pawn that is already in play.
Right.
So in this case you have 4 places to put your pawn. The other pieces are placed behind one of your pawns. So what you see here is the pawns are very important. For example, if you lose your pawns, all your pawns, you will not be able to put new pieces in play. And what you might also see already, this is still the character of chess. The strong pieces are hidden behind the pawns. They will get in play, but they have to go around.
Right.
While the pawns do what they always do, they stand in line. Wow.
Get in the way.
Yeah. Okay, these are the 2 steps in a game turn. Okay, goal is checkmate the king. That's all.
Now, do you find that someone like myself, who knows how to move the pieces, but is abysmally bad at chess, is this a little bit more approachable to those who maybe are not very good chess players?
Yeah, I think this is the main goal we try to achieve. Make chess less complex. There is no opening because you go directly into the conflict with the other player. There is no end game with a lot of pawns. You have to move to the end of the other side.
Yeah.
It's just direct conflict. There are about 4 or 5 attacks between the players, and there it's over. So it's 20 minutes. You know the rules, you have slight modifications, and the second step you do after your movement, place a new piece into the game. It brings a different kind of tactic. You have everything you know about chess will not really help you here. You have to find out how can I make these 2 steps for my profit. What do I have to do here? So if you play against a really experienced chess player, he doesn't have all these books he's read and everything he knows doesn't help him here. So you're more equal than before.
Which is what I like to hear, because a lot of people can be intimidated by chess, since there's such a high learning curve. So it's nice that some avenues that make it a little bit more entry level. So
it might help to tell you a very small, short personal story. I did play chess. I started playing chess, but I recognized that I cannot win against a player who knows the opening theories, and I dropped chess. I stopped playing chess, and I regretted it again and again and again. And Matthias helped me find a game that I can play, and it's really still chess.
And so you're very motivated.
Yeah.